The first time I saw the cabin, bathed in morning light with mist rising off the lake, I knew it had to be mine. Not just for me, for all of us. My family had never owned anything like this before, and I was going to be the one to change that. Funny how dreams can turn into nightmares. I'm Paris, and this is the story of how I bought my dream cabin, lost it to my own family's betrayal, and learned that sometimes the hardest thing isn't achieving your goals. It's protecting them from the people you love. "You really did it," my mother Shanice whispered when I first showed them around. Her fingers traced the wooden banister, eyes wide as she took in the vaulted ceiling and wall of windows overlooking the water. "How could you afford this?" "I've been saving for 3 years, Mum. Every bonus, every raise, living in that tiny studio apartment." I couldn't keep the pride from my voice. "Worth every penny, right?" My father Norman just grunted, already heading for the deck with his coffee. Classic dad, emotions weren't his thing. My sister Layla bounced from room to room, squealing about Instagram possibilities. "This room would be perfect for my meditation videos," she called from upstairs. "The lighting is everything." I smiled, picturing summer barbecues, Christmas mornings, family game nights by the stone fireplace. Sure, we had our issues. What family doesn't? But this place would bring us together. I was certain of it. The first red flag came 2 weeks later. I drove up for the weekend and found empty wine bottles in the recycling bin. Weird, since I hadn't been there in days. "Oh, I stopped by with the girls," Mum said when I called. "The key you gave us, we're allowed to use it, right?" "Of course," I said quickly. "Just maybe let me know next time." But they didn't. Instagram posts started popping up. Layla doing yoga on my deck, Mum hosting her book club in my living room. When I tried to plan a family weekend, there was always an excuse. "Oh, honey, this weekend's not good," Mum would say. "Your father has golf, and Layla's got that influencer thing." I swallowed my disappointment and focused on work. The cabin could wait. Family takes time to adjust, right? Then came the renovation demands. "The kitchen needs updating," Mum announced during a rare dinner together. "Those countertops are so dated, and the guest bathroom, that tile has to go." "I like it as is," I said. "Besides, I just spent my savings on—" "If you want us to spend time here, it needs to be presentable," she interrupted. "What will people think?" I gave in. Another loan, another 60-hour work week. The contractors came and went. Mum supervised everything while I was stuck in meetings. "Perfect timing," Layla texted me photos of the finished kitchen. "Just in time for my birthday weekend? The whole crew's coming up?" I frowned at my phone. "What birthday weekend?" "Mum didn't tell you. We planned it ages ago. You're probably too busy anyway, right?" That's when I decided to surprise them. I left work early on Friday, grabbed takeout for everyone, and drove the 2 hours to the cabin. The driveway was full of cars I didn't recognize. Music thumped through the walls. Through the windows I could see people dancing, drinking, definitely not just family. I pulled out my key, climbed the porch steps and tried the lock. Nothing. I tried again, still nothing. The key didn't fit. They changed the locks on my cabin. My cabin. I called Mum's cell. Once, twice, 3 times. Finally, she picked up. "Paris, now's not a good time, sweetie." "Mum, I'm outside. The key doesn't work." A pause. Music pulsed in the background. "Oh, well, we needed some privacy this weekend. You understand, right? You're always so busy anyway." I heard Layla's voice, distant but clear. "Is that Paris? Tell her it's invite only." Laughter erupted behind her. My stomach clenched as I stood there in the dark, holding bags of cooling food, staring at my own front door. "Mum," I said, my voice shaking, "this is my house. I bought it. I pay the mortgage." "Don't be dramatic, Paris. We'll talk about this later. I have guests to attend to." The line went dead. I sat in my car for a long time, watching shadows dance across my windows, listening to music blast from my speakers, while strangers partied in my dream home. And slowly, as the night grew colder and darker, something inside me changed. They wanted to play games. Fine, game on. I sat in my car until my hands stopped shaking, watching the party through windows I'd cleaned myself. My phone buzzed. Another Instagram notification. Layla was live streaming from my kitchen. "Welcome to the lake house, babes," her voice chirped through my speakers. "Tour time, check out these gorgeous new countertops." I killed the app and dialed Mom again. This time she answered on the first ring. "Paris, I told you." "Open the door, Mom, now." "You're being unreasonable." Her voice had that familiar patronising tone. "We're entertaining important people. Your father's business associates are here. You wouldn't want to embarrass him, would you?" A male voice in the background. "Shanice, come quick. Derek's doing body shots off the island." My new granite island. "Those important people are doing body shots off my kitchen counter," I said. "The counter I'm still paying for." "Oh, please, we both know you can afford it. You're always bragging about your big salary." "Open the door." "Not tonight." Mum's voice hardened. "Go home, Paris. We'll discuss this when you're being more rational." I heard Layla again. "Mom, tell her to stop ruining my party. This is so toxic." "You heard your sister. Don't make this difficult." The line went dead again. I slammed my palm against the steering wheel, then jumped at a knock on my window. An older woman stood there, concern etched on her face. I cracked the window. "You okay, honey? I'm Ella from next door." She gestured to the house on the right. "Been watching you sit here a while." "I'm fine, just family drama." "You must be Paris." At my surprised look, she added, "I've seen the Wagners here lots, though they told everyone." She trailed off, looking uncomfortable. "Told everyone what?" Ella shifted her weight. "Well, they said this was their vacation home, that you'd moved to Seattle for work or something. They've been hosting parties all summer." My throat tightened. "All summer?" "Oh yes, every other weekend seems like. Your sister, Layla, right? She's been filming those internet videos. What do you call them? TikToks?" "TikToks," I corrected automatically, my mind racing. "And she told people this was her house." "Well, your parents did too. They had some fancy dinner party last month. Your father was showing off the renovation plans for the boathouse." "The what?" "The renovation, oh dear." Ella's eyes widened. "You didn't know about that either." My phone buzzed. A Facebook notification this time. Layla had tagged me in a post. "Best birthday bash ever at my lake house. Sorry not sorry a Paris. Maybe if you weren't such a workaholic you'd actually use this place. Blessed Hotch lake house fort my cabin." The comments were already rolling in. "Girl, this place is everything." "Can't wait for next weekend's retreat. Your parents are so generous letting you use their vacation home." I looked up at Ella, who was watching me with growing concern. "Would you—" I swallowed hard. "Would you be willing to write down what you just told me? About what they've been saying?" "Of course, honey. And—" She hesitated. "I have security cameras. They catch the driveway and dock. If you need proof of how often they're here." "I'd appreciate that. Come inside. We'll get it sorted." She paused. "And Paris? Last week I overheard your mother on the phone with someone about transferring the deed. Might want to check on that." My hands started shaking again, but for a different reason now. The fog of hurt was clearing, replaced by something colder, more focused. "Thank you, Ella. I think I will." As we walked to her house, another car pulled into my driveway. A guy in his 20s stumbled out, carrying cases of beer. "Yo!" he shouted toward my cabin. "Derek's here. Let's get this party started." The front door opened, spilling light and music across the lawn. Layla appeared, squealing. "Finally! Did you bring the stuff?" "You know it, babe. Your parents are cool with us staying all week, right?" "Duh. It's basically my place now. Paris never uses it anyway." I stopped walking. Ella touched my arm gently. "You okay?" I watched my sister help Derek carry beer into my house, watch strangers dance behind my windows, watch my parents play host with my property. 3 years of savings, countless overtime hours, all my dreams of family togetherness, just another resource for them to exploit. No, I said quietly. I'm not okay, but I will be. I pulled out my phone and opened my contacts. Time to call my lawyer. Monday morning, I walked into my father's office unannounced. His secretary tried to stop me, but I pushed past her. Dad looked up from his computer, frowning. Paris, I'm in a meeting. No, you're playing solitaire. I can see your screen from here. He minimised the window, sighing. What's so urgent it couldn't wait? The boathouse renovations. Want to tell me about those? Colour drained from his face. Who told you? Does it matter? You're planning construction on my property without my knowledge. That's illegal, Dad. Now, Princess, he raised his hands placatingly. Don't be dramatic. You'll inherit it eventually anyway. We're just expediting some improvements. Inherit? I laughed. I already own it. I bought it with my money. And where did you learn to make that money? He leaned back smug. Who paid for your education? Your first car? Everything you have is because of us. I paid back every penny of my student loans, and that used Civic was hardly a gift. You made me work at your warehouse every summer to pay it off. The point is, he continued, as if I hadn't spoken, family property is family property. Your mother and I have plans for that cabin, business plans, important ones. Like what? More parties? More of Layla's influencer friends trashing my house? Your sister is building a brand, and I'm networking with potential investors. This benefits all of us. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app. Funny thing about benefits, I just checked my mortgage statement. Someone tried to transfer the deed to Mum's LLC last month. Dad's face twitched. That was a misunderstanding. Really? Because it looks like fraud to me. Good thing the bank flagged it. Your mother was just trying to streamline things for tax purposes. Tax purposes? I slammed my hands on his desk. You tried to steal my house! Lower your voice, he hissed. Someone will hear. Good! Let them hear. Let them know how you and Mom... We're underwater, okay? He snapped, voice breaking. The business, my investments, all of it. We needed collateral for a loan. I stepped back, staring at him. So you tried to steal my cabin? Borrow, he corrected weakly. We would have fixed everything before... Before what? Before I noticed? Before you lost that too? He wouldn't meet my eyes. My phone buzzed. An email notification from Gabriel Howard, the realtor I'd contacted yesterday. Ms. Wagner, I've reviewed your situation. We have several interested buyers if you're ready to discuss options. The current market strongly favours sellers. I looked at my father, this man who taught me about integrity, about working hard, about family. He was still staring at his desk. I'm selling it, I said quietly. His head snapped up. You can't. Watch me. Your mother will be devastated. Layla's building her following there. My business contacts. Not my problem. Paris, please. He stood up, desperate now. We can work something out. A rental agreement maybe. Or you could sign it over to us and... And what? Trust you'll do the right thing? Like you trusted me with a key to my own house? That was your mother's idea. She thought I'd give in, like always. I headed for the door. Not this time. Paris, he called after me. Don't do anything rash. Let's talk about this as a family. I turned back one last time. We stopped being a family the moment you changed those locks. My phone buzzed again as I walked out. Gabriel Howard. Available to meet this weekend? I typed back, yes, the sooner the better. Another buzz, Mom this time. Your father just called. You're being ridiculous. That cabin is a family investment. I blocked her number. Then Layla. OMG, you're literally ruining everything. I have sponsors coming next week. Blocked. Final buzz. Gabriel again. I should mention, given the recent attempted fraud, we should move quickly. I can have papers ready by Friday. I smiled for the first time in days. Perfect. One question. Can we coordinate with local law enforcement for the sale? I might need help removing some unauthorised occupants. His response came quickly. Already on it. Sheriff's Department is very familiar with handling adverse possession cases. I put my phone away and walked to my car. 3 years ago, I'd sat in this same parking lot, dreaming about the perfect family cabin. Now I was sitting here again, planning its sale. But this time, I wasn't dreaming about family. I was dreaming about justice. And justice, I was learning, could be just as satisfying as dreams. "You need cameras," Ariel said, sliding a coffee across my desk, like yesterday. I looked up from the email I was drafting to Gabriel. "Isn't that a bit much?" "Girl, they changed your locks. Nothing's too much anymore." She perched on my desk. "My brother sells security systems, high-end stuff, connects right to your phone. Want his number?" Before I could answer, my phone lit up with another Instagram notification. Layla doing yoga on my dock. Morning meditation at the family lake house. Chi blessed, gi namaste, gi lake house yoga. "Call him," I said. 2 days later, I watched through my phone as a cleaning service Mum had hired wandered through my house. They opened closets, cabinets, drawers, places they had no business being. "See?" Ariel peered over my shoulder at the feed. "Told you they're nosy." The cameras caught everything. Mum giving house tours to her friends. "Yes, we've had this place for years. Paris manages it for us, but it's a family property." Dad hosting poker nights. All my investment, of course. Paris just helped with the paperwork. Layla was the worst. She'd moved in half her wardrobe, converted my office into a content studio, and treated the place like her personal party pad. "Holy shit," Ariel whispered as we watched Layla's friend Derek lay out lines of white powder on my coffee table. "Is that—" "Evidence," I said, taking screenshots. "That's what that is." The next morning, I met Gabriel at a coffee shop downtown. He was younger than I expected, professional but with kind eyes. "I've reviewed everything," he said, spreading out papers. "The attempted deed transfer, the unauthorized occupancy, the documented damage." He paused the video I'd sent him. "And what appears to be illegal substances on the premises." "Can we use any of this?" "All of it, but—" He hesitated. "Are you sure you want to go this route? Family disputes can get ugly." "They're already ugly. I just want what's mine." He nodded. "Then let's talk strategy. The market's hot. We could list by next week. But first we need to handle the occupancy issue." "You mentioned the sheriff?" "Yes. Given the evidence of illegal activity, they're quite interested. We can coordinate the eviction with the sale announcement." My phone buzzed. Layla again. "Big news coming soon. Lake house renovations starting next month. Wait till you see what we're doing with the boathouse." I showed Gabriel the post. "How soon can we move?" "I have buyers ready to view this weekend, if we list Friday." "Perfect. They're planning some big party Saturday night. Let's do it then." He raised an eyebrow. "You want to list while they're having a party?" "Trust me, it's better this way." I pulled out my own folder. "Here's everything. Deed, mortgage statements, tax records, insurance, plus screenshots of their social media posts claiming ownership. And the security footage, uploading to your email now, including timestamps of when they changed the locks." Gabriel whistled softly. "You don't mess around." "They taught me that," I said. "Family lesson number 1, always keep receipts." Back at work, Ariel was watching the camera feed again. "Your sister's planning something big. Lots of people coming in and out." I checked the footage. Caterers, decorators, a DJ setting up equipment. "Saturday's going to be interesting," I said. "Want backup? I make a great angry friend." "Thanks, but I need to do this myself." I watched Layla direct someone carrying cases of champagne. "Besides, I won't be alone. I'll have Gabriel and the sheriff." "The hot realtor?" Ariel grinned. "Girl, please tell me you're getting his number after this is over." "Focus, this isn't about—" "Paris!" Mum's name flashed on my phone. I'd unblocked her temporarily, waiting for this call. "What's this I hear about a realtor?" "Oh, you noticed? Funny how information spreads when you're watching someone's house." "This isn't funny. Cancel whatever you're planning. Your father's investors are not my problem, neither is Layla's party." "Party? What party?" I smiled. Check your daughter's social media. Seems she's planned quite the event for Saturday. Shame if anything interrupted it. Paris Wagner, don't you dare. Got to go, Mum. Meeting with my realtor. By the way, how's that boathouse renovation coming along? I hung up as she sputtered. Within minutes, my phone exploded with texts. Dad, let's discuss this rationally. Layla, you're ruining my life. Mum, your father's having chest pains from stress. I turned off my phone and looked at Ariel. Want to help me pick out an outfit for Saturday? Something black, she said. You're going to a funeral. No, I corrected her, watching another box of liquor being carried into my house through the security feed. I'm going to a wake for all their lies. Friday afternoon I called Layla. She answered on the first ring, suspicious. What do you want? Just checking about tomorrow night, I said sweetly. Wanted to make sure I wouldn't be interrupting anything. You're not invited, she snapped, and you can't stop us. Mum and Dad already said. I know, your party, your rules. I won't crash, promise. I examined my nails. Who's coming? She hesitated, then pride won out. Everyone, like literally everyone. 3 DJs, all my top followers, some major influencers flying in. Sounds expensive. Derek's handling most of it, his trust fund, you know. She couldn't resist bragging. We're announcing our new business venture. The cabin's going to be our content creation hub. Really? Tell me more. 20 minutes later, I had every detail. Guest list, timeline, even the hashtags they planned. Layla always did talk too much when she thought she was winning. I met Gabriel at the sheriff's office that afternoon. Everything's set, he said, handing me a folder. Sale listing goes live at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Sheriff Jones will meet us at the property at 9 p.m. Peak party time, I nodded. Perfect. You sure about this timing? He looked concerned. We could wait. No, they need to see it, all of them. I checked my phone. Another notification. Look. Layla's latest post showed workers setting up a massive tent by the lake. Tomorrow night, biggest announcement ever. Can't wait to show everyone our new business home. Blessed mune entrepreneur or a lake house life. Your sister seems confident, Gabriel said diplomatically. She's always been confident about spending other people's money. I handed him my phone, checked the comments. Mom had commented, So proud of my baby girl's new business venture. This lake house was the best investment we ever made. Gabriel whistled. That's bold, considering she has no legal claim. That's my mother, queen of alternative facts. My phone rang. Dad again. 5th time today. I let it go to voicemail. They're getting desperate, Gabriel observed. Good, they should be. Back home, I laid out my outfit for tomorrow. Black dress, red lipstick, heels that could kill. Ariel had called it my revenge formal look. My doorbell rang. A courier held out a thick envelope. Delivery from Shanice Wagner. Inside was a contract, hastily drawn up. They'd offer to buy the cabin from me, with a payment plan, of course. A post-it note in Mom's handwriting. Be reasonable. Family helps family. I took a picture and sent it to Gabriel. Nice try, he texted back, but too late. Buyers are locked in. Another text came through, Ella this time. Your sister's friends are setting up cameras everywhere, telling neighbours they're filming some big reveal tomorrow. Oh, there'll be a reveal all right, I replied. I spent that night watching the security feeds, Mum directing caterers, Dad glad-handing early arrivals, Layla practising her spontaneous announcement speech in my bathroom mirror. Can't believe she's really going to do this, Ariel said during our late-night strategy call. Believe it, she's been rehearsing that speech for hours, all about how she's manifested this opportunity. With your house. Not for long. Morning came. The listing went live at 8 a.m. sharp. Luxury lake cabin, price to sell, immediate availability. By noon, my phone was a war zone. Mum, take down that listing right now. Dad, you're making a huge mistake. Layla, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I blocked them all again and texted Gabriel. Ready? Buyers are excited, papers drawn up, sheriff's on board. You sure about this? I watched through the cameras as decorators hung fairy lights across my deck, caterers set up stations in my kitchen. Derek arranged bottles at my wet bar. Layla stood in my living room, practicing her speech again. We're so blessed to announce our new business venture, Lake House Studios, thanks to my amazing family for providing this gorgeous space. I'm sure, I texted back, time to end this story. See you at 8:30, Gabriel replied. Wear something fierce. I looked at my black dress, thought about all the times I'd given in, backed down, played nice. Not tonight. Tonight I was wearing karma, and karma, like revenge, looks best in black. Music thumped across the lake as Gabriel and I pulled up behind the sheriff's SUV. The party was in full swing. Cars lined the driveway, people spilled onto the lawn, and my deck was packed with dancers. Through the windows I could see Layla holding court in the living room, surrounded by her influencer friends and their phones. Ready? Gabriel asked, holding up the for sale sign. I nodded. Sheriff Jones approached, clipboard in hand. Ms. Wagner, we've confirmed the property ownership. Ready when you are. We walked up the path together, past groups of partiers who barely noticed us. The music was deafening now. Through the front windows, I saw Mom directing caterers, Dad chatting with men in expensive suits. Sheriff Jones knocked firmly. No response. He knocked louder. Finally, Mum opened the door, wineglass in hand. Yes, we're in the middle of a private event. Her voice died when she saw me. The wineglass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the porch. Paris? Her eyes darted between me, Gabriel, and the sheriff. What is this? Property reclamation, Sheriff Jones said officially. I have papers here. No. Mum tried to close the door. The sheriff blocked it with his foot. Mum, I need you to gather everyone and— Layla! Mum screamed over her shoulder. Norman! The music cut abruptly. People turned to stare. Dad emerged from his group, face reddening when he saw us. Paris, don't do this, he started. Already done. Gabriel stepped forward, hammering the for sale sign into the front lawn. Camera phones swiveled to record. Layla pushed through the crowd, Derek trailing behind her. What the hell? You can't just— Actually, I can. I held up my folder. Deed, mortgage and proof of ownership, plus documentation of unauthorised occupancy, property damage and— I smiled at Derek. Various illegal activities. You were spying on us, Layla shrieked. No, I was monitoring my property. Big difference. But— Derek looked confused. This isn't your family's vacation house? Nope, I bought it, alone. They just borrowed it, without asking. Mum stepped forward, voice honey sweet. Sweetheart, let's discuss this privately. You're embarrassing yourself. Really? I pulled out my phone. More embarrassing than this? I played the security footage. Mum's voice filled the sudden silence. Paris always gives in. She's desperate for our approval. We'll have the deed transferred before she notices. Layla lunged for my phone. Sheriff Jones stepped between us. Miss, I wouldn't— This is my house, she screamed. We announced it. Everyone knows. Everyone knows what you told them, I corrected, but lies don't hold up in court. Court? Dad pushed forward. Now wait just a minute. The property has been sold, Gabriel announced, loud enough for everyone to hear. New owners take possession Monday. All current occupants need to vacate immediately. Sold? Mum swayed slightly. You can't— I can and I did. Sheriff Jones will supervise the evacuation. Evacuation? Layla's voice rose higher. But my followers, my announcement, Derek's investment was never yours to take. I turned to the crowd. Party's over, everyone. Property's being seized. People began grabbing their things, muttering and filming. Derek backed away from Layla. You said this was your place, he accused. You said your parents— She said a lot of things, I cut in. None of them true. Mum grabbed my arm. Paris, please, we can work this out. We're family. Family? I jerked away. Family doesn't change locks. Family doesn't steal. Family doesn't... The rest was cut off by the splash of cold liquid hitting my face. Layla stood there, empty champagne bottle in hand, mascara running. "I hate you," she spat. "You've ruined everything." Sheriff Jones stepped forward. "Miss, that's assault. Would you like to press charges?" I wiped my face, feeling the champagne soak into my dress. The dress I'd bought specially for this moment. The perfect revenge outfit now ruined, like everything else they touched. "No," I said quietly. "No charges. Just get them out." "You heard her," the sheriff announced. "Everyone out, now!" As people filed past, I heard the whispers. "Can't believe they lied about owning it." "Did you get all that on video?" "Influencers, man, it's all fake." Gabriel touched my arm. "You okay?" I watched my family being escorted out of my house. Mom crying, Dad stone-faced, Layla screaming into her phone. 3 years of dreams, destroyed by their greed. "No," I said honestly, "but I will be." The music had stopped. The party was over. And finally, the house was mine again. The aftermath was worse than the party. Empty bottles everywhere, cigarette burns on my furniture, and something sticky coating every surface. Mum sat on the porch steps, refusing to leave while Dad packed their things. "You've destroyed this family," she said as I walked past with a trash bag. "Pretty sure you did that when you tried to steal my house." "We weren't stealing, we were protecting our investment." "What investment?" I spun around. "Show me one receipt, one payment, $1 you put into this place." She looked away. Inside, Layla was shoving clothes into bags, still ranting into her phone. "My followers are devastated. We had sponsorship deals lined up, brand partnerships." "Not your house, not your deals." I started collecting empty champagne bottles. Should have thought about that before lying to everyone. I wasn't lying, I was manifesting. "Is that what we're calling fraud now?" Derek appeared in the doorway, looking uncomfortable. "Layla, my dad's lawyer called. About the business loan." "Not now," she hissed. I raised an eyebrow. "Business loan?" Derek shifted. "We took out a start-up loan for Lake House Studios, using this property as collateral." "A loan?" I turned to Layla. "Using my house?" "Mum said it was fine. She said once the deed transferred." "The deed that you tried to steal?" I laughed bitterly. "Hope you got a good lawyer, because fraud charges—" "Fraud." Dad emerged from upstairs. "No one's pressing charges. We'll handle this as a family." "Family?" I pulled out my phone, played another security clip. His voice filled the room. "Paris is naive. She'll sign anything we put in front of her. Always has." He paled. "Where did you—" "Cameras, Dad, everywhere. Got some great footage of your poker nights too. Wonder what those business associates would think." "Enough!" Mum stood in the doorway. "You're being cruel." "Cruel?" I gestured around the trashed house. "Like changing my locks? Like trying to steal my deed? Like letting your daughter take out fraudulent loans?" "We were desperate," she shouted. "Your father's business is failing. Layla needed a fresh start. We thought—" "You thought I'd cave, like always." I faced them all. "But I'm done being your backup plan." Sheriff Jones stepped in. "Time's up. Everyone out." "But my things," Layla protested. "Should have thought about that before the champagne assault." I pointed to the door. "Out!" They filed past me one by one. Mum tried to hug me. I stepped back. Dad couldn't meet my eyes. Layla stormed past, Derek trailing awkwardly behind. Gabriel appeared with papers. "Ready to sign?" "Now?" Mum spun around. "Here?" "Perfect timing," I said, taking the pen. "Witnesses everywhere." "Paris, please." Dad tried one last time. "Think about your sister's future." "I am." I signed with a flourish. "I'm teaching her actions have consequences." "You'll regret this," Mum said quietly. "When you're alone." "I'd rather be alone than be your ATM." Layla made one final scene, throwing herself onto the couch. "I can't leave. This is my home." "Miss," Sheriff Jones sighed. "Don't make me remove you physically." She got up, mascara streaking her face. "I'll never forgive you." "Funny," I said, watching her go. "That's exactly how I feel." The door closed behind them. Through the window, I watched them load their cars. Mum crying dramatically, Dad comforting her, Layla still filming everything. "Well," Gabriel said beside me, "that was intense." "Worth it." I handed him the signed papers. "When can the new owners move in?" "Monday." He hesitated. "You sure about this? We could still—" "I'm sure." I watched my family's cars pull away. Some things you can't fix. My phone buzzed, messages flooding in. Mum: "You've broken my heart. I hope you're happy." Dad: "Your mother's inconsolable. Call us when you've calmed down." Layla: "My followers are devastated. You've ruined my brand." And then, surprisingly, from Derek: "Sorry about everything. Didn't know it was your house. Lawyer says I can sue Layla for misrepresentation. I blocked Mom and Dad, left Layla unread. Replied to Derek. Good luck with that." Gabriel touched my arm. "Need help cleaning up?" I looked around the trashed house, my dream home, destroyed by the people I'd wanted to share it with. "No," I said. "The cleaning service comes tomorrow. I just want to—" "Want to what?" I walked to the deck, looked out over the lake. The same view that had made me fall in love with this place. But now, instead of seeing family gatherings and shared memories, I saw something else. Freedom. "I want to watch the sunset," I said, "one last time, without their shadows hanging over me." He nodded, understanding. "Want company?" I thought about it, about being alone, about choosing who to let in. "Yes," I said. "I think I do." The cleaning crew had just finished when Ella stopped by. She surveyed the spotless living room, now empty of my family's chaos. "Quite a show last night," she said, handing me a coffee. "Whole neighbourhood's talking about it." "I bet they are." I sank into my armchair, the only piece of furniture I was keeping. "Seen any of them today?" "Your sister drove by twice, filming. Your mother's been calling everyone, playing victim." Ella sat across from me. "But that's not why I'm here." She pulled out her phone, showed me a social media post. "Layla, tear-streaked but defiant. Swipe up to support my legal fund, fighting family betrayal and toxic property theft, and justice for Layla." "Theft?" I laughed. "That's rich." Keep scrolling. Mum had shared it. "My daughter Paris has broken our hearts after all we invested in that cabin." "Invested?" A new voice cut in. Gabriel stood in the doorway holding papers. "Show me those receipts." I smiled. Since that sunset talk, he'd become more than just my realtor, more like an ally. "Final walkthrough?" I asked. "And something else." He laid out documents. "The buyers found these in the boathouse, loan applications, in your name." My stomach dropped. "What?" "Forged signatures. Your parents tried to take out equity loans, multiple times." Ella whistled. "That's serious fraud." "Already sent copies to your lawyer." Gabriel sat beside me. "Want to press charges?" I stared at my mother's familiar handwriting, my father's clumsy forgeries. More betrayal, even now. My phone buzzed. "Dad, your mother's in the hospital. Stress attack. Hope you're happy." Then Mum. "Doctors say my blood pressure's dangerously high. This is your fault." Finally, Layla. "Mum's sick because of you, but my followers are supporting me through this trauma, already raised $5,000 for legal fees." I blocked them all, permanently this time. No charges, I decided. Let them live with what they've done. "They're still lying about you," Ella pointed out. "Let them. Truth comes out eventually." Gabriel gathered the papers. "Speaking of truth, the buyers found something else. Old property records." He spread out yellow documents. My eyes caught familiar names. "This cabin," he explained, "was originally owned by your maternal grandmother. She left it to you specifically in her will. Your parents contested it, lost, then sold it before you turned 18. They… what? The cabin was always meant to be yours. They sold your inheritance, then watched you buy it back with your own money. The truth hit like a physical blow. All those overtime hours, the savings, the loans, buying back what should have been mine all along. That's why they wanted it so badly, I whispered. They thought they could take it twice. A car pulled up outside, the buyers right on schedule. Through the window I watched them emerge, a young couple excited, taking pictures, building their own dreams. "Ready?" Gabriel asked softly. I took one last look around, at the lake view I'd fallen in love with, at the spaces I'd hoped to fill with family memories. Actually, I pulled out my phone, opened my blocked messages, typed quickly, "Mum, hope you feel better. The cabin's sold. Don't contact me again. Dad, found Grandma's will. Now I know why you pushed so hard. Goodbye. Layla, keep the donation money. You'll need it for lawyer fees when those loan companies come calling. P.S. I'm keeping all the security footage just in case." "That's it?" Ella asked. "No big confrontation?" They'd love that. More drama for their social media. I stood up, grabbed my bag. But sometimes the best revenge is just walking away. Gabriel opened the door. The buyers waited eagerly on the porch, clutching their keys. "Welcome home," I said, stepping past them. "Aren't you sad to sell?" the wife asked. "It's such a beautiful place." I thought about my family, about betrayal, about the peace I felt right now, walking away from their chaos. "No," I said honestly. "Sometimes beautiful things aren't meant for us. Sometimes they're just stops along the way." I walked to my car, where Gabriel waited. Ella hugged me goodbye. "What now?" she asked. I looked at the cabin one last time, not with sadness or anger, but with something lighter, freedom maybe, or hope. "Now?" I smiled. "I build something new, something that's just mine." I got in my car, Gabriel beside me, and drove away from the dream I'd outgrown. Behind me, my family's lies crumbled like sandcastles in the tide. Ahead lay something better, my own truth, my own path, my own happy ending. No family drama required,